The UFC is a business, so there'll always be a lot of controversy surrounding the decisions they make. Just recently, Jairzinho Rozenstruik got cut from the UFC, despite heavyweights like Tai Tuivasa being on a 5-fight losing streak, yet still being on the roster. So we have to keep this in mind when predicting who the next title shot is going to be given to at middleweight. Before I continue with the video, I ask that you guys like and subscribe right now. Then you can unlike and unsubscribe at the end of the video if you don't enjoy it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I'd really appreciate your help. Thanks. I think the UFC likes having Dricus as a champion because he's the full package. He has an exciting fighting style and good mind skills. Not to mention the beef he's been known to have with fighters in and outside of his division. That being Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Khamzat Chimaev, and Steve Erceg, who fights divisions below him. The funny thing about this beef is how one-sided it was. When you look at Steve Erceg, he doesn't look provocative at all. He looks like one of those guys that would prefer to resolve conflict. And he was cornered in an interview when asked what he would rate Dricus out of 10, and he rated Dricus 6. Is Dricus a 6 out of 10? No, I don't believe anyone who's a champion should be rated a 6 out of 10, and Dricus took that personally. Unfortunately, they were fighting on the same card, and Dricus won his fight, whereas Steve Erceg got knocked out. Dricus is very calculated with his revenge. He'll make sure he gets you in the worst way possible when you're at your lowest, and that was Steve Erceg when he got knocked out by Caio France that night. Dricus went on to post Steve Erceg getting knocked out and tagged him with the caption, 6 out of 10, laughing emoji, question mark. That was pretty cold, and I personally thought that was a jerk move. And I like Dricus. I didn't see him as someone who would do that, but he seems to be someone who can't take criticism very well. And I understand that a lot of the fighters that criticize Dricus aren't doing it out of honesty, but rather to bring him down because they can't fathom how someone with such a goofy style is a champion. Brendan Allen is a perfect example of that. He'll take every opportunity he gets to discredit Dricus for his wins, and I just don't think he's in a position to do that because he's never won a championship, let alone fought for one. Am I saying that Brendan Allen can't say anything critical about Dricus? Absolutely not. I just don't think it's wise for him to do it in a derogatory or condescending manner because Dricus is a trash talker and he will get his lick back, and that's exactly what he did when Brendan Allen lost to both Anthony Hernandez and Nassourdine and got mocked by Dricus in the comment section. I'm not saying it's right, I just think it's a lot more justified in this instance because of what Brendan Allen did. Another fighter who heavily criticizes Dricus is Caio. I don't think he's doing it in a derogatory manner, I just think he's being completely honest. But that doesn't matter when you're doing it to Dricus, and I just hope he doesn't lose anytime soon. You and me both know what Dricus is going to do if that happens. But Caio and Brendan Allen are irrelevant in the title shot conversation, so our main focus will be Nassourdine and Khamzat Chimaev. Who between those two do you think is going to get a title shot? You can make an argument for both fighters. Nassourdine is ranked number 1, and it's only logical that the number 1 ranked fighter fights for the title if he hasn't already fought for it. Khamzat Chimaev was ranked way before Nassourdine, or at least in the top 5, and he was supposed to fight the winner of Dricus versus Sean Strickland 2. Then Nassourdine ended up beating Izzy to take his ranking as number 2, and with Sean Strickland having 2 losses against Dricus, it only made sense that he moved down a few slots, which is exactly what happened. Hence Nassourdine being ranked number 1. I still don't think he's going to fight for the title because there's way more reasons the UFC would give it to Khamzat instead. Don't get me wrong, Nassourdine is a very good fighter, and I would say he's one of the more well-rounded ones in the UFC. But I guarantee you they don't want him to fight Dricus because they know he stands a chance and he just isn't marketable. He doesn't have any personality, and with the little personality he has, he can't embrace that in English. I'm not saying it's impossible for us to connect with the non-English champion. Alex Pereira is a great example of that because he's actually funny and he tries to entertain us. Nassourdine is only focused on the fighting, which is good for him, just not the UFC. Hence me saying that they will most probably give it to Khamzat. I don't think Khamzat has great mic skills, and it might have a lot to do with the fact that English isn't his mother tongue. But I still think he has more personality than Nassourdine, and even if he didn't, his style is so exciting that it wouldn't really matter. He takes the best fighters in the world and molds them in the first round. So I'm sure we'd like to know what would happen if he were to face someone like Dricus, who's a great grappler in his own right and can hold his own on the feet. I actually believe the UFC would prefer for someone like Khamzat to be champion because in as much as Dricus may have more personality, Khamzat has a bigger following, so would more than likely sell more tickets. I want you guys to let me know who you think will win this fight. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Peace out.